May I come in, sir?
Come.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
May I take the seat, sir?
Please.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
So, Kunal, please introduce yourself to the board.
Sir, my name is Kunal Rastogi. I was born in Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh, but I was brought up in Agartala, Tripura. I've done schools in many states, Tripura, then Lucknow, Delhi. After which, sir, I did my graduation in civil engineering from BITS Plani campus. Since 2021, sir, I've been trying to convert my dream into reality of becoming a civil servant. In the meantime, sir, I was also employed as an educator in Topper Educations Limited, teaching physics to class 11 and 12th.
In where were you employed, sorry?
Topper Education Limited.
Topper Education. So, your father is in the IPS?
Yes, sir.
In the IPS?
Yes, sir.
Okay. On deputation to BSF now?
Yes, sir.
How many of these paramilitary forces are there in the country?
So, it is the BSF, sir, CRPF, CISF, SSB.
How many? Total how many?
So, I think 7, sir, if I am not mistaken.
7.
So, BSF, CRPF, CISF, ITBP, NSG, 5, sir.
5 or 7?
So, 5, sir.
5. Only 5?
So, BSF, ITBP, CRPF, CISF, SSB, and NSG. 6, sir, sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, sir.
Assam Rifles?
Yes, sir, 7 then.
That is in CAPF.
So
Assam Rifle is in CAPF, it's not paramilitary.
The Assam Rifles is also under the Ministry of Home Affairs.
Yeah.
Assam Rifle is dual command force.
Yes, sir. The operational command is with the army, but the administrative.
Its recruitment is not through the CAPF.
Yes, sir.
But it's part of the CAPF.
Yes, sir.
You're right. Anyway, so you have worked on Asian geopolitics.
Sir. So, my hobby, sir.
But Russia has some part in Asia still.
Yes, sir.
Physically, it has some area in Asia.
Yes, sir.
Then why it is not part of any Asian forum? None of the meetings, nowhere we count them there.
Sir, in regional organizations, it is a part. Like, sir, SCO is there.
The SCO is different.
Regional Asian organizations.
Yeah. Why it has no say in Asia? If anything is to happen in Asia, nobody calls Russia to say anything.
Sir, I beg to differ. When there was the Galwan issue, sir, Russia and Indian partnership was quite evident in many ways. Even in defense relations, sir, India always looks towards Russia for.
You mean India and Russia were able to convince China not to misbehave in Galwan?
So, not convince China, sir, but it was of great help in certain divisions.
Okay. Yes, but what could be the reason why Russia is not interested in Asia? Or Asia is not interested in Russia?
Sir, I think interest is a very, Russia has interest, sir, in certain parts, like the Central Asian region, sir, be it Russia, it's called the underbelly of Russia. So, even whenever it comes to how to deal with Central Asia, Russia has always been there, sir. Apart from that, sir, it has got, it invaded Afghanistan, sir, during the USSR time. So, it is not entirely correct that Russia does not have anything towards Asia. But yes, sir, the reverse sometimes can be true, that when Asian problems are there, Russia is least interested in solving them. Be it in the South Asian region, sir, the South China Sea dispute, sir, where Russia does not take strict stance against China. And it has even led on to be a very big partner in promoting China's interest in the South China Sea dispute.
Okay, anyway, Russia is at war with one country.
Yes, sir. Ukraine, sir.
So after this Israel thing has happened, that war has de-escalated?
Not entirely, sir. Russia has, on the contrary, sir, Russia has improved its position in Ukraine. It has recently bombarded Kiev again, sir, and it is planning to continue to do so. But the interest of the Western powers, sir, that has shifted. So from Russian side, it is still going on, but the Western support has dwindled down in favor of Israel.
Why? Western favor is now, powers are now more interested in Hamas.
Yes, sir. So recently also, sir, the president of Ukraine, Sir Volodymyr Zelensky, had requested the EU nations as well as US for immediate support to counter the aggression of Russia. But to no avail, sir, because they denied. And until the Congress resumes in USA, no further help is down the line.
Okay. One more thing. If we are to apportion the blame for what happened in Ukraine,
sir,
so whom would you blame how much? Ukraine? Who are the parties, main parties?
Sir, it's Russia, the Ukraine, sir, and NATO under the US guidance, US leadership.
So I would put it Russia, Ukraine, EU or NATO and USA. How much blame you would put on each of them?
So 25% to Russia and Ukraine. So 20% to NATO and 30% to USA, sir.
To USA?
Yes, sir.
Why?
So because sir, USA follows the Monroe Doctrine, whereby it does not allow anybody to come in its neighborhood. In similar vein, sir, Russia being a great power also has similar ambitions. But USA, sir, follows under its NATO the open door policy, where it is promoting country by country to join the NATO forces. It has also deployed Jupiter missiles and all in Turkey and all. And so this has made Russia very underconfident regarding what its security feature or security future entails. And this basically led to Russia invading Ukraine for its own national interests, sir.
But was it not stupid of Ukraine,
sir,
that Americans prompted them and that fellow, he decided to jump. He could have sat quiet. Uski औकात तो थी नहीं. He knew he could not fight Russia.
No, sir.
But he chose to go and fight.
Sir. So in the initial days, even Ukraine was winning when in the initial part of the war, but the fatigue has caught up with them. I don't think it was a stupid decision, sir, in the part of Ukraine, because their interest was also at stake. If they couldn't join EU, then they could not satisfy its very large population.
What big deal they'll get by joining NATO?
Sir,
NATO will not give them all their food supplies, everything, and it's not going to happen.
No, sir. NATO basically operates on the principle one for and all for one. So, Ukraine thought that if it had joined NATO, then in future circumstances, NATO would come to the aid of Ukraine if Russia decides to annex it in the future. So, I think it was a bet that he played, but sadly it misfired for them.
Yeah, he has put his whole country into jeopardy.
Yes, sir, that is true. Sir.
Crimea was also a factor.
Crimea, sir, was also a factor.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, madam.
So, Kunal, talking about the current war that is taking place,
yes,
which is that?
I
mean, besides the Ukraine war?
The fight between Israel and Hamas.
Hamas. So, what we are talking about, is it a global, is it part of global terrorism, or what do you think? How would you define this particular incident that triggered this whole war?
Ma'am, it started with a localized terrorism when Hamas attacked Israel and killed more than 1,400 people and took hostages. But slowly, ma'am, it has started to take a global scape. Recently, ma'am, Houthi as well in Yemen has fired missiles on the global trade routes. It has today itself, India has also sent one of its Navy carriers to guarantee that. So slowly and steadily.
Guarantee what?
Ma'am, so that the oil trade that happens to the Suez Canal and Red Sea, which is close to $200 billion for India, could be saved. So, ma'am, so there is a transition where the localized terrorism act of Hamas could take global proportions, and that would be very bad for the geopolitics of the whole region.
So why is the West saying, you know, or supporters of Hamas saying that, and both sides are saying that Israel is to blame? Now, if you look at the papers everywhere, the recent reports everywhere, and including in the UN, everywhere, they're saying it's Israel's fault. No one is talking of the terrorism by Hamas now, except in the first 1 or 2 days. What could be the reason for this shift, you think?
No, I think it is because of the disproportionate reaction that Israel has shown.
That was expected. Hamas has done it deliberately. It was expected that they attacked with this intent, or the whatever they did, that Israel would give a disproportionate response.
Ma'am, the response, however, has entailed now more than 20,000 people being killed. And most of them are civilians who are children and women. So nobody thought, ma'am, that this could take so much a big proportion. Even, ma'am, the president of USA, Joe Biden, has called Israel to show some restraint so that the hospitals can actually function. WHO has also shown that there is a very big chance that due to the closeness of the quarters in which most of the civilian population is living, it could lead to another epidemic. So, ma'am, seeing these preposterous things that are happening there, as well as the effect on the global supply chains, particularly oil, countries are now starting to shift the blame towards Israel because of its disproportionate policies.
You think there could be peace?
Yes, ma'am, of course.
Why? How?
Ma'am, basically the situation as it stands today is Israel wants its nation state and the Palestine wants the same. So like India has already proposed, the two-state solution, which has already been discussed many times, can be a viable solution to this.
Why is it not happening?
Ma'am, it's because of the policies of some right-wing groups, particularly in Israel, where it has started the Israel settlement policy. So already in West Bank, as well as in Gaza, there have been settlements to the tune of which 500,000 to 600,000 Israelis are living. So now the Prime Minister of Israel is saying they cannot be taken back. So the two-state solution seems unlikely in this particular scenario.
Do they support it otherwise? Does Israel support it, or the Hamas support the two nations?
Ma'am, both of them actually.
They don't. This thing will finish them off, and this thing will finish them off.
Yes, ma'am,
so
that is the.
When you're so stuck, how can you find a solution? Negotiation means give and take. No? So is there any scope for negotiations?
Ma'am, countries are trying. Qatar is in the pipeline so that hostage exchange can create some form of goodwill, which may further translate in the future to a peaceful negotiation.
Last question.
Ma'am.
India's neighborhood first policy.
Yes,
a little bit about that. If you can very briefly tell me quickly, what does it mean and which are India's neighbors which are part of this policy?
Ma'am, India's neighborhood first policy was first started by which is often draws its inspiration from the Gujarat doctrine, whereby it is said that India would help all its neighbors without expecting anything in return. Secondly, ma'am, it says that no country in the South Asian region, that is Bangladesh, Pakistan, Nepal, Myanmar, will use its own territory for the detriment to national interest of any other country. And thirdly, ma'am, India unilaterally would help aid all other countries whenever it is required, as shown during Sri Lankan crisis or in the case of Nepal. So this was the neighborhood first policy, and the basic intent behind is that a peaceful neighborhood will ensure that India's national security, unity and integrity are not affected. Like it was the case when Sri Lankan civil war happened, there was chances Tamil Nadu could get apart. When the Bangladesh civil war happened in 1971, there was chances that the entire northeast could be cordoned off. So to prevent such future, India always tries for a peaceful neighborhood, and the neighborhood first policy comes in that.
Which neighbors are covered in this?
Ma'am, Pakistan, Afghanistan.
Pakistan's covered. Okay.
As far as I can recall right now.
No, in the neighborhood first policy.
Ma'am, the ARCs, Nepal, Myanmar, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Bhutan, Afghanistan, and I'm not sure about Pakistan, ma'am.
Pakistan, not to that extent, and China. China is the biggest neighbor up there. So we don't include China in that, do we? Or do we?
Ma'am, China's is not considered to be part of South Asian region. So it is considered an extraterritorial power, and India has always tried to ensure that China remains an extraterritorial power towards the South Asian region, because two tigers cannot sleep in one hill.
Oh, but it's not succeeding, is it?
Ma'am, China is trying, but yes, India is trying to win its back. Recently, a project of mega city has been proposed in Bhutan to win it back with the recent border exchange talks that are going on. In Nepal, ma'am,
Maldives already we have somebody who is not with us.
Yes, ma'am. President Mohammad Moizu has been elected, and he wants India out policy. In that sense, it is not working, but in some other senses, this policy is trying to be working out.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Kunal,
Sir.
you mentioned that you cook Awadhi dishes.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell us the recipe of phara?
Sorry, sir?
Recipe of phara. Can you tell
Khara?
us? Phara, F-A-R-A. Phara, that pitha.
Petha, sir.
Not petha. It is
So
phara.
petha is a delicacy. I'm not aware of.
The most common of the dish is the phara.
So it may be said, I know a different name.
Rice flour and dal.
Sorry, sir, I'm not.
Okay. So when Hamas attacked on Israel territory, many citizens lost their life. Most of them were from Kibbutz society.
Yes, sir.
Did you know about?
So kibbutz basically is an Israeli term which means collection or neighborhood. So there are many kibbutz there, not single one. And this is basically an affix like India ka neighborhood.
What is their basic concept?
So community living is the basic concept, that they form a community which is evidently quite far away from the city mainland, and they are self-sustaining in nature. So that is what the idea behind kibbutz is.
In any sense, you can compare them with any other concept that we are practicing in India?
Sir, can I get a few moments to think about it? Sir, Gandhiji gave the idea of self-sufficient villages. I think or Panchayati Raj systems where we have self-sufficient villages. So I think that is one thing that we can.
The kibbutz are more close to or socialism, concept socialism.
Yes, sir. In India as well, sir, inspired from the Soviet Union, we tried to build communes. That is a self-sustaining village idea of Gandhiji. But I don't know how successful it has been.
Gandhiji made one experiment in Ratnagiri.
Sir.
On this concept. There is a village.
Okay, sir.
He totally comply his philosophy over there, and it is still surviving.
Okay, sir.
Have you ever
No, sir. I have not heard of it.
Okay. So the relationship we build between two countries have many factors, not only one. But if we develop trade-centric bilateral relations, what will be its disadvantages and advantages?
Sir, can I take a few seconds? Sir, first coming to the advantages side, first will be, sir, surety. When two nation states are interacting, we know that there is a definite power center, and it is this power center that needs to be held accountable if anything south happens. Secondly, sir, when nation states talk with each other, a large diversity of issues are addressed at one go. So several interests of several sections of the society are taken care of simultaneously. So that is second advantage. And third advantage, sir, is when nation states interact with each other, the relations are based on equality, because the fundamental Treaty of Westphalia, which gave rise to nation states, depends upon sovereignty. So all interests are taken into account when politics of international relations are decided. So disadvantages, first of all, sir, narrow national interest, whereby countries are in a zero-sum game. So they only want their national interest to trump over all others. So this may result in various mishaps like we saw in the various wars that we are fighting. Secondly, sir, when nation states are relating, there may be non-state actors which may arise, and that disturbs the whole delicate balance, like the terrorist organizations like Al-Qaeda and all, which started to disrupt the delicate balance between nation states. So these are two disadvantages that I can think.
As the world is changing, and when trade centers change very quickly, very rapidly, so can diplomatic relations be switched that fast? And if not, because of this, we will have to alter our priorities again.
Sir, I think the core national interest of all the countries has remained the same since World War II. Each and every country wants unity, national integrity, and sovereignty of their land. Now, based upon these fundamental principles, the outlying things can change. So diplomatic relations do not have to go to a drastic change. Rather, they have to fine-tune themselves to modify as with regards to the changing geopolitical landscape. But the core remains the same, sir.
Okay. Very good. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, Kunal.
Hello, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Continuing from the discussion what you were doing with Sir, you said Gandhiji's self-sufficiency as a point that he gave in respect to the villages should be self-sufficient.
Yes, sir.
Has he or was there a particular term related to this phrase of self-sufficiency? क्या term दिया था गांधी ने?
So I think theory of oceanic circles, upon which there would be ascending.
तो theory थी, word क्या था?
राम राज्य, sir.
चलो कोई नहीं. स्वराज क्या है?
Swaraj means independence, sir. It means complete control over one's own ambitions and over oneself, sir.
Okay.
That is Swaraj.
Gandhiji's concept of self-sufficient villages and the modern concept of Atmanirbharta, is there any difference or they the same?
So there are differences in both. When Sir Gandhiji talked about self-sufficient villages, he talked about an economy which was inward-looking, whereby each and every member of the society would contribute, and that would be the wants that the society must be having. Whereas in case of Atmanirbhar Bharat, we are looking inwards, where we want to be sufficient in self, but that does not mean we cannot take the help from the outside society. So sir, FDIs, FIIs are promoted, liberalization has taken place, so that we could leverage the benefits that the outside society can give and catalyze our development in accordance with this. So that is one of the difference I see.
Good. Recently, we have seen in news that MPs are getting suspended,
Sir.
right? You are aware of that?
Yes, sir.
And that is not just about one or two members. It is a good number.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Do you agree? First of all, do you agree it's a good number or not?
Sir, 146 out of 545 is a
Is it a good number?
good number, sir.
So can we say that it is impacting our democracy, or our democracy is getting weaker? What is your opinion on this?
Sir, I'll not say the democracy is weakening, because MPs getting suspended in one session does not mean that the Indian democracy, which has been living for 75 years and is a model for all.
But when they get suspended, some bills are passed
Sir.
where their say is not considered.
Yes, sir.
In that context, elaborate now.
Yes, sir. Looking at that point, sir, recently the 3 criminal bills were also passed without much discussion. So important bills needed the whole house to debate and discuss. And in that sense, sir, I agree that 146 people being out of the parliament does weaken the parliamentary democracy that is going on within the house.
So you agree with it?
So the parliamentary democracy part, yes, I agree with it.
Okay. Okay. Which particular movies, science fiction movies you like, or any particular movie you're close to?
Sir, I think one movie is very close to my heart, and that is Interstellar by Christopher Nolan. Can I elaborate upon the movie, sir?
The last scene, the end part, the conclusion part,
Sir.
elaborate in 2 to 3 lines if you can.
Sir, I think
Conclusion, basically.
Conclusion, sir, was that science could be anything, but it is ultimately the human emotions, specifically love, which binds all humanity together, no matter how time or space they are apart.
Nice. But science, what we see today, or the way it has progressed, being a physics teacher of class 11th and 12th, do you see that similar fashion, in a similar fashion, or a similar manner, the syllabus is also revised?
So with regards to this,
With regard to the class 11th and 12th physics syllabus?
so it is being revised, sir.
Sure.
Sir, recently NCERT also came up, not with physics, but there are certain concepts which have been
You teach
delayed.
physics, so definitely I will expect an answer from physics point of view, since
yes.
you teach the subject.
Yes, sir.
So physics में syllabus में बदलाव आने की ज़रूरत है, क्योंकि साइंस में मूवीज़ में भी देख के आपने देख लिया होगा कितनी चीज़ें बदल चुकी हैं.
Yes, sir.
बट क्या कोई चैप्टर ऐसा है जो अभी भी बहुत ज़्यादा हम we are trying to teach them in a same old fashion and we are not revising it?
Definitely.
First of all, do you agree or not?
Yes, sir, I agree with this point.
Any particular example you can give?
Sir, one example that I could give is the chapter of rotation, sir, in class 11th that is being studied. So rotation is very complex, sir. It is being used to design spacecrafts and all. And expecting class 11, 12 students who have just come out of class 10, not reading much about it, and giving a plethora of examples and problems, their mind is restricted, because they only then think that I have to solve this problem and get good marks, but they are not very enthusiastic about learning the concept. So I think physics should be revised, and more importantly, the syllabus should be reduced, sir.
Syllabus of 12th class or 11th class?
So both the classes, sir.
Both the classes?
Yes,
Sure?
Sir. Yes, sir.
What is the comparison of syllabus of physics in class 11th and 12th? The
Sir,
magnitude of topics and chapters?
Sir, class 11 physics is more about physical dimensions, mechanics, rotations, SHM motions.
But एक स्टूडेंट के लिए कितना मुश्किल है 11th या 12th? कौन सी मुश्किल है क्लास?
Sir, I think 11th is harder, sir,
It's
compared
harder?
to 12th.
So ये तो उल्टा होना चाहिए.
हाँ,
10th के बाद तो easy होना चाहिए, फिर harder होना चाहिए.
Sir, it is because most of the concepts in class 11 are used in class 12th. So without studying class 11th, you cannot be going and giving class 12th. That's why syllabus is a little bit harder, sir.
Okay, my last question to you. Please highlight 2 issues of Tripura since you have upbringing हुई है आपके वहाँ पर. So
Yes.
you've been there. You are aware of the area. Any particular issues Tripura is facing today? Two particular issues you can highlight.
So can I take a few moments?
Sure. Which you have observed.
Sir. Sir, I think first one should be education, sir. There are only a few convent schools there, and the public schools situation is not that different. So the amount of education that one could aspire to have so that they could compete at the all India level is not there, sir. So most of the people, most of my friends as well, after completing class 10th, they shifted to different places so that they could compete at the all India level.
And second?
Secondly, sir, I feel connectivity is a very big issue. So let me give an example. So there is a place Agartala and Kumarghat, sir, that is in Dhalai district. The distance between them is only 138 kilometers, but it takes almost 7 hours even today to travel that. And if you travel through an expressway, we can reach by 1.5 hours. So that is the difference in connectivity, sir, that has actually perpetuated in the mindset itself. So the northern people who are living in the northern districts are mostly tribal, while the southerns are Bengalis. And their interaction is so low because of the high time it takes. They feel that they are different species from them. So they do not interact with each other. They do not.
So can these problems emerge as a bigger issue in future for internal security point of view in India? Can they emerge as a problem in future?
Yes, sir.
They can.
No, so not only in the future but in the past as well, sir.
Past नहीं, future में ये problem बन सकता है क्या?
Yes, sir.
बन सकता है.
Connectivity is a very important thing, sir. If you want to unite a country, at least people should have the ability to converse with other people, and that is something which is missing, specifically in the northeastern regions.
Oh, okay, thank you, Kunal.
sir.
Sir.
Kunal, some time back, India invested in renovating a port in Chabahar. Why did we do it, and what was India's interest?
So Chabahar port in Iran, sir, was part of the INSTC project that India was eyeing for. So basically, sir, India wants to circumnavigate Pakistan.
INSTC project, I think, is different. Chabahar was not necessarily a part of that.
Oh, sorry, sir, I'll take to. Sir, Chabahar was basically there so that we can trade with the Central Asian region and Afghanistan particularly. So right now, sir, Pakistan acts as a bridge between India and the Central Asian region. So we can bypass that by connecting with Chabahar port and then go into the Central Asia. This could also serve as a platform for the INSTC project, sir, which we are trying to eye forward so that we could connect to the greater parts of Central Asia as well as the European counterparts.
Can we go to Afghanistan directly?
Sir, in India, there is a small corridor called the Wakhan corridor, which connects Afghanistan to India. But currently, sir, it is being administered by Pakistan.
POK.
POK, sir.
So we don't have a direct access to Afghanistan.
As of today, sir, we don't have a direct access.
And that is why this Chabahar.
Yes, sir, that is one alternative. But Chabahar also tries to serve other areas as well, sir.
Such as?
So Central Asian region. Zarang-Jalaram highway is there, sir. From Afghanistan, we can go to other places. Then we can directly trade with Iran as well.
Without necessarily going to Afghanistan, from Iran, we can still go to Central Asian states, countries?
No, sir.
So
I'm not sure, sir, right now. I have to read about it, sir, a little bit.
What is north of Iran?
Sir, the Central Asian countries, sir.
Then?
Yes, sir.
So you cross Iran, and then there is Turkmenistan, then there is that sea.
So Caspian Sea.
Caspian Sea.
Sir.
And there are ports, Baku, Astrakhan,
yes,
etc., etc. So it can be a gateway to Central Asian countries.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then recently during G20, another economic corridor was talked about. India, Middle East, European Economic Corridor.
Yes, sir.
What was that?
Sir, it was basically an attempt to bypass all Iran and Afghanistan and all, and directly connect India through Israel to the Middle Eastern region, sir. Israel, UAE to Europe, sir. So that was the basic corridor that was being envisaged.
And how was it planned?
Sir, so from India, sir, we'll go through the Red Sea, then we'll reach Israel through the Suez Canal, and from Israel, sir, we'll go forward to other countries in the Middle East like UAE and all.
How?
Sir, I'm not exactly sure.
So it was rail ship
Okay,
to Europe.
Okay, sir.
What was happening in Manipur, and what is the situation now?
Sir, in Manipur, sir, there was news of ethnic violence, whereas two major groups that are living there, the Methi people, which compose approximately 53% of the population, and the 𝐂𝐸𝐾𝐄, sir, they are which primarily reside in the northern hilly areas. They were having a tussle. The primary reasons for the tussle, sir, were, first of all, sir, there was a religious angle because Methis are primarily Hindu, while the 𝐂𝐸𝐾𝐄 people are Christian. Secondly, sir, there was an issue because of the scheduled tribe status, whereas the High Court, sir, they requested the central government to consider Methis as well, ST as well. So this would, sir, mean that the Methi people can also acquire land in the hilly Naga 𝐂𝐸𝐾 area, sir. So that was another point of tussle. Third, sir, was the suspension of operations by the Manipuri government because with the KNO, sir, the 𝐂𝐸𝐾 National Organization, because the people, the Manipur government, they took up project whereby they would destroy all the poppy fields. Now poppy cultivation was majority done by 𝐂𝐸𝐾s, so they saw that it was a move against them. So all these things are culminated and was further exacerbated because of the Myanmar issue. Whereas from Myanmar, a large number of 𝐂𝐸𝐾𝐍𝐿 communities, which resides there, moved towards Manipur, and these governments tried to expel them, and the 𝐂𝐸𝐾 gave it again a anti-national color, anti-𝐂𝐸𝐾 color. And
so you mean a large number of infiltration took place in Manipur from Myanmar?
So from to both the places, to Mizoram as well as Manipur, sir. Even, sir, Chief Minister of Manipur said that a large amount of people are directly coming through the fences, sir, from Myanmar side to Manipur side, just to escape the increased warfare between the three Brotherhood Alliance and the Myanmar National Army, the Janta government, sir.
Do you agree with the manner in which the crisis was handled by the Manipur government?
No, sir. Things could have been better dealt with. First of all, sir, with regards to there was a problem that ST reservation was given without proper stakeholder consultation.
ST reservation was given.
High Court requested the central government to give.
High Court is not the state, not the state government.
Sir,
if High Court did it on its own, then what is the problem with the fault of the state government?
So the state government could have approached the High Court with an appeal that further stakeholder consultation could have been done.
As far as I remember, the High Court on its own,
yes, sir,
sent it to central government.
Sir, on April 12th, it directly sent it, but the Manipur government could have taken with the appeal. And sir, regarding the policing issue, sir, as well, there was intelligence failure where in the Chu-Chandrapur area district where the major fighting took place, the amount of policing that was there was not appropriate. Even the collaboration between Assam Rifles, the Manipur police and the central paramilitary forces was not adequate. So they were all blaming each other.
You have lived in Tripura.
Sir.
And if you would be aware, Tripura also faced its share of insurgency.
Yes, sir, it did, sir.
What is the status now?
So now it is relatively peaceful, relatively almost peaceful, sir. Even the Armed Forces Special Powers Act has been removed from Tripura.
You use the word relative.
Yes, sir, relative, sir.
Why?
So still there are instances where there is a mutual distrust. Recently, sir, the Tripura Motha, which is the party of the indigenous tribal people, they are requesting for a greater Tripura land. So for the whole autonomous district council that Tripura has, they want a separate statehood. And so, sir, there is still tension between the two major communities there.
Okay. So, right, Puneet, thank you very much. Sorry, Kunal.
Yes, sir.
If you will step out for a moment, then we'll call you after a couple of minutes and then we'll give you our feedback.
Sure, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Sir, may I come in?
Please come.
Please come.
Kunal, definitely you are a very good candidate
Thank you, sir.
and very confident. The thing is, just minor things are there, not much. Like for example, I want to ask you again, Kuki tribe is in the northern side of Manipur or southern?
So northern side, sir.
Sure. Nada tribe?
So both, sir, Manipur, sir, basically it's like a circular shape, donut shape. So in the donut, sir, the Meiteis live, and surrounding areas, sir, the Nagas and Kukis live.
So ऊपर कौन है, नीचे कौन है, majority? तो थोड़ा सा मतलब देख लेना एक बार.
ठीक है सर, एक
मैं
बार.
फिर भी चाहूँगा एक बार देख लेना.
ठीक है सर.
ठीक है. एंड देन द फर्स्ट जो आपका सेकंड पॉइंट था वो प्राइमरी पॉइंट होना चाहिए. पॉइंट्स का प्रायोरिटी एक बार वो देख लेना. दो यू हैव सेड इट एवरीथिंग ऑलमोस्ट यू आर क्लियर एंड रियली देयर इज़ नो डाउट कि आपका इंटरव्यू अच्छा जाना चाहिए.
सर.
ठीक है. यू आर अ वेरी प्लीजिंग पर्सनैलिटी. वी couldn't टच ऑल द पॉइंट्स, राइट. एंटी रैगिंग जैसे ये पॉइंट है, वाटर रिसोर्स है. So we couldn't touch everything, but yes, be prepared in all those aspects as well. Like I would have definitely asked you like types of leadership, what is entrepreneurial leadership, then how is it different from the normal, then priority basis पे कौन से points हैं जो entrepreneurial में ज़्यादा होना चाहिए.
ठीक है
तो ऐसे कुछ चीज़ें बन सकती हैं क्वेश्चन. Maybe be prepared in that direction.
Sir.
And why civil engineering, and then jumping to your optional,
Okay, sir.
and then how they can help you in your services. So all those questions can be the possible questions.
Okay, sir.
So good wishes from my end,
Sir.
sir.
आपकी सब्जेक्ट कमांड बहुत अच्छी है, लेकिन अरेंज्ड फॉर्म में आंसर नहीं आ रहे हैं.
Sir.
थोड़ा उस पर आपको काम करने की ज़रूरत है और थोड़े और क्लियर होने चाहिए,
सर. हाँ, मुझे लगा एक दो जगह
है
से.
ना. थोड़े से उसके आसपास थोड़ी कुछ लेसेस हैं, कुछ फर्स हैं उसके आसपास, उससे थोड़ा सा और क्लियर आंसर लोग एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं.
ठीक है सर.
एक लिमिटेड टाइम में अगर आपको कोई परखना चाहे तो आपसे बहुत पॉइंट टू पॉइंट जवाब चाहता हो. दूसरा ये कि जितना आप जानते हैं वो तो आप बता सकते हैं, लेकिन आप बीच के इंटरव्यू में आप रीथिंक करके और फिर आप दोबारा आंसर के साथ नहीं आ सकते.
ठीक है सर.
तो उसमें भी थोड़ा सा आपको इससे बचना चाहिए,
ठीक है सर.
क्योंकि उससे फिर जो आपने पिछले जवाब बड़े अच्छे दिए होते हैं वो फिर उसका
ठीक है सर.
उस हिसाब से वो कंटिन्यू नहीं कर पाता है.
ठीक है सर.
बाकी मेरे हिसाब से आपका आत्मविश्वास, आने जाने का तरीका सब बहुत अच्छा है, वेल ड्रेस्ड है, अच्छे हैं, आपको निकलना चाहिए.
थैंक यू.
आपके पिछली बार इंटरव्यू में कितने मार्क्स थे?
सर 160 थे.
160 थे. एक तो आपने ये जो लिखा है एशियन जियोपॉलिटिक्स,
सर.
ठीक है, ये वो पैनल पे जो लोग बैठे होंगे सब इसमें माहिर होंगे,
सर.
क्योंकि इफ़ यू हैव टाइम यू विल रीड अबाउट दिस थिंग्स एंड विल बी नोइंग अबाउट इट.
सर.
तो आपने एशियन लिख दिया, इसका मतलब नहीं कि कोई एशिया पे रिस्ट्रिक्ट करेगा.
यस सर.
ये एक तरह की दलदल है,
यस सर.
क्योंकि इवन बिडेन को नहीं पता वो क्या कर रहा है.
राइट सर.
ठीक है ना, मतलब इसको इजराइल वाले को भी पता नहीं क्या कर रहा है.
सर.
They are doing it, but it is something on which people can take stands. So
Right,
just
sir.
think about it. And second thing is you have written derivatives somewhere.
यस सर.
So you should be aware about stock market. कहाँ पहुँचा, क्यों पहुँचा,
ओके सर.
ठीक है, what is happening, FDI, all those things. Then you have written about water resource management.
सर.
So that is also an area I didn't ask you about it, but groundwater is something about which everybody has known and thought about something. So what is the groundwater level? Why depletion is happening? And this oft repeated allegation that you are exporting rice, you are actually exporting water from India,
Yes sir. Virtual water.
virtual water. So all these things, something which you should know about, right? Otherwise, you are an excellent candidate, and you're this teaching of underprivileged children.
Yes sir.
This is also something on which people can prompt you. So my point is that you have so much in your DAF.
Sir.
If you are clever, you can use these points to feed the board and
Right,
lead
sir.
the interview. Right?
Sir.
So that's your choice.
Yes sir.
But whatever you lead them to, you should be sure about it.
Right sir.
You should be knowledgeable about it, okay? Like once you talk of NSS, then they ask about Bharat Scout and Guide, NCC, what are their numbers? So all those things, be prepared about the whole domain.
Sir.
right?
Sir.
So all the best.
Just one more point I'd like to add. You're very good, and I'm sure you will do very well. Little more as to keep everybody's advice in mind. You know, you use a term for China and India not being two tigers in the same pen or something.
Same
Don't
here.
use
ये
these.
मुझे भी लगा था.
Don't use these newspaper things. It sounds a little,
Okay, ma'am.
not required. No,
Sure.
it may be true, but not required. These kind of newspaper headline kind of things, try and avoid.
Okay.
And that's very good. And little more practice. When's your interview?
2nd January.
Oh, it's right here. So
Yes.
just focus on being more focused
Yes. ma'am.
and be happy. You'll do a good job. All the best.
Thank you.
Kunal, first thing is about your appearance.
Sir.
You are a smart boy,
Sir.
but why haven't you combed your hair properly?
Sir, I actually came from an auto here, so it went.
So take care of that
Yes,
during
sir.
your interview in the UPSC.
Sir.
Otherwise, you are well dressed. And today we haven't asked you anything about civil engineering,
Yes, sir.
right? So you must be prepared to answer questions from civil engineering, because this is the subject that you have studied, and people will presume that you would know quite a lot about it, ins and out.
Sir.
Otherwise, the replies that you have given us, as everyone has said, these were good, crisp replies. And I would suggest that in the final interview, which is on a week from now, give your such replies, crisp replies, to the point, and don't beat around the bush.
Sir.
Like, for example, I didn't go deep into the Manipur question. Read on this, because you have studied in Tripura and people will presume that you may have some knowledge of Manipur. So read about Manipur when you go for the interview.
Sir.
Otherwise, the questions that may be asked in the interview would largely depend on your DAF, what
Sir.
you have given here. Your hobbies, your optionals, your main subject that you have studied, where you come from, where you have studied, the places that you are associated with. Somebody or the other in the interview board might ask you questions on that. So that part is something on which you should be prepared. Think about it. You have no problem in delivery of answers. You are confident. You are able to speak without any problem. Take care of your appearance, and
Yes, sir.
all the best to you.
Sir.
I have absolutely no doubt that if you perform like this, you should be able to do very well in the main interview.
Sir.
Thank you.
And
Wish you all
decide
the
whether you're
best.
going to shave or not.
I'll shave.
Yeah, please do.
Yes, sir.
Good
All the
wishes,
very
Kunal.
best.
Good
Thank you,
wishes.
sir.
All
Thank
the
you,
very
ma'am.
best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you, sir.